Welcome to our Pakt Mode convertible bag 14-liter review. Here at Nomads Nation, we have been reviewing the world's best EDC and travel gear for almost 8 years. So in this review, I'm gonna take my experience and show you everything you need to know about this bag so you can decide if it's for you. In this video, I'm gonna pack the bag out, show you exactly what it fits. We're gonna double check the advertised capacity, and I'm gonna give you my brutally honest pros and cons and overall scores so you can know if this bag is worth it or if you wanna take a pass. And if you want to take a pass, you should definitely stick around to the end of the video, because there I'll make 2 alternative suggestions in case you're not quite feeling the Pakt Mode convertible. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about the gist of the Pakt Mode convertible bag 14-liter. If you're unfamiliar with Pakt, they're a US company based in Bozeman, Montana, and they've gone through, I wouldn't say changes over the years, but an interesting evolution. They started off by launching possibly the world's greatest travel duffel, and then they launched other travel products. And I think they're one of the best travel carry brands out there. Like, they know what they're good at, which is travel gear. But over the years, they've kind of changed their aesthetic and their overall just kind of vibe. And this Mode series is the perfect example of that. We reviewed a lot of their other bags in this series. We've got a lot of requests to review this one because it's very interesting. Let me tell you why. Some of the top features of this bag are, it's stunning. It's beautiful shape and silhouette, a quick access, front pocket, a top and well-organized admin compartment. We got a half-zip opening into the main compartment with a couple of tech storage options here, which we'll test out thoroughly 2 chapters from now. We got a luggage pass-through holder, but most interestingly, I think, is, as the name suggests, it's a convertible bag as to where you can use 2 straps and put it in backpack mode, or a single strap and put it into sling mode, which I have some thoughts on, and we'll dive into that 3 chapters from now. Real quick caveat, you're gonna notice that my strap, or one of my straps that I have here, is cut. And the reason being, I physically, myself, took a pair of scissors and cut it. And the reason being is that we at Nomads Nation, we do the most hardcore bag reviews on the web. And we started by cutting some bags open in our reviews so we can show our viewers what's inside, and then we can further analyze the actual materials that are being used, particularly in the shoulder straps. But we recently published a video where we did this with the alpaca, I think it was one of the satchels, flight satchel. And the response was terrible. Like, people were so mad that we cut open the bags. So we're not doing that anymore. But this little guy did bear the brunt of that. It hurts, don't cut me open. So yeah, a little caveat there, but the review won't be compromised at all. This bag is advertised at 14 liters capacity. But here at the NN, we're always double checking these things. I'm not gonna lie, it feels a little tight for 14. I think it's gonna come closer to 10. There's only one way to find out. All right, that took forever. Now let's check the dimensions now that the bag is fully packed out. We got a height of around 17.5 inches, a width of just under 11 inches, and a fully packed out depth of 5 inches. One thing to note about those dimensions is Pakt bags are tall. They're very slim and slender. And the reason that they're able to do that is because of just their height. It's gonna be a bit taller of a build than your typical 14-liter bag. Speaking of which, let's see if it actually is 14 liters. We filled the bag with our factory grade measurement balls in the main compartment, as well as the 2 front pockets. It's a little tight, but we'll get a general idea. Starting with the top, this pocket's great because it does actually have its own volume. All right, looking at about just under a liter. The bottom front pocket, just slightly over a liter. And then for the main compartment, I stand kind of corrected. As you can see, we're at 5'10", this is 15. We're under that. I think we're around the 12-liter range, 12, 13, 14 maybe, right around there. Which is interesting because just given the shape of this bag, like I said, it's a little bit taller, but it actually kind of makes the main compartment a little bit tighter. But these 2 pockets actually have their own volume, so it's an interesting bag just in terms of its pocket configuration and its build out. Like I said, around 12, 13 liters. Pakt claims this bag weighs 1.8 pounds, which I'm actually getting 1.5 pounds on scale number 1, and just under 1.6 pounds on scale number 2. Measured, is it measuring? Good point, Sig. I'm sure if we weighed it with the strap, we probably would have hit 1.8, but good to know that in sling mode, you're around 1.5 pounds. The convertible bag currently comes in 4 different color options. This is the bag when it's empty, And here it is, fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. All Pakt bags are protected by their lifetime warranty, which I haven't heard too many complaints about, so I guess Pakt is pretty good about honoring that warranty. And for all that, this bag runs around 185 USD. And we're gonna use that price point sort of as our North Star moving forward to help us determine the value of this bag, if it's worth it, if it's a bit of a ripoff. But it should be noted, if at any point during this review you think the bag is worth it, and you like the value proposition, and you're thinking about making a purchase, we do suggest making your purchase using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team, so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the front of the Pakt Mode convertible bag 14 liter. Starting with the aesthetic, which for me, I'm not being harsh on Pakt, but this is the third bag I think I reviewed in this collection of the Mode collection. And I think that the aesthetic is probably the biggest selling point. It's not that this bag's not functional. It's not that this bag's not bringing the value game, but I think that the most valuable thing that Pakt sort of offers is just this beautiful look that they've just commandeered and made their own. Their bags are unique, they're colorful, they're classy, but kind of modern at the same time. I think what they've done developing a design language and an aesthetic in the bag world is just like chef's kiss. It's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I can objectively just state they crushed this. And one big reason, first of all, the color options. I have to admit, like this green is beautiful. But for me, the winner is the red color. I just think that this is stunning. And Pakt is one of the few brands out there that's really bringing their A game with the colors. Do you agree with me though? Like, do you think Pakt is just crushing it aesthetically? Let me know what you think about the Pakt aesthetic in the comments below. And the biggest thing contributing to the Pakt aesthetic are these fabrics. On the exterior, we have a 420D recycled nylon. If you ever touch like an Aer Go bag, they use the crinkle nylon or Coton Ciel, I think that's the brand name. These are brands that are using a similar fabric that's like a crinkly nylon, but this one in comparison is a little bit stiffer. It's got a little bit of shape to it, which is nice because it's still malleable. It gives it a relaxing look and feel, but also helps to keep its structure a little bit and just is giving this bag that sort of premium elevated look. A 420D nylon like this will be very abrasion resistant, and it'll also offer a bit of weather resistance as well. Actually, I think this has got a really nice finish to it. Yeah, this is actually repelling water very nicely. And should be noted that Pakt is a very ethical company, very eco-friendly. All their recycled nylon is created from repurposed plastics. So if it's a selling point to you, definitely something to consider, but also probably given the fact that recycled materials aren't cheap, definitely adding to the higher price point. Pakt branding, not too loud. Let's talk about pockets. Front pocket here, like we said, it gives you about 1 liter of volume. Actually, I'm really impressed by how much volume this pocket has while still keeping the bag kind of sexy. Sometimes it's hard to do, like think like Tom Bin bags. Their front pockets and side pockets have tons of volume, but they don't look sexy, just my opinion. So Pakt being able to kind of allow this bag to breathe a little bit and give you a bit more functionality while still looking great is very well executed on their part. There's no additional organization in this pocket. Given the location too, it's obviously great for quick access. Swing the bag around, unzip, grab what you need, especially if you're in sling mode. For me, it's where I'm gonna pop my over-the-ear headphones. These are my Sony XM-H5s. Perfect spot for them. One thing that's a little annoying about this pocket though is the decision to have a storm cover right there. Now, it won't be annoying in a storm because it will cover the pocket and make your gear less likely to get wet from the storm, but you're just gonna have some zipper snaggy issues sometimes. That's not Pakt's fault, that's just the law of the jungle with these sort of storm covers with zippers. This fabric gets in the way, so sort of a pro and a con there depending on what's important to you. Next up, we got the top admin compartment, which gives you access with 2 zips. These nylon pull tabs, they feel nice. Got a little silkiness to them. These zippers could be locked together and they better be YKK at this price point. Or another brand name. Yeah, we got YKK, so best zippers in the game. That's what you want when you're spending $180 on a bag, am I right? Let's talk about this pocket. We got a bit of organization in here and something that I quite like, we got some gussets. You don't always see gussets on a top admin pocket like this. This gives you just a little bit of extra security, so when you open it, your bag is less likely to, kind of flap open all the way. Gives you a bit more control, a little bit more security. A pocket like this can fit some larger things, like your typical size novel. Close in there, no problem, but you're likely gonna use it for smaller bits of gear. Sunglasses in the mesh pocket here, which also has a key leash. Not my favorite location for a key leash. I might have preferred it to been put in this pocket, just easier to grab, swing the bag over, unzip, grab your keys, unlock. That makes more sense to me versus this location. It's in a secondary pocket inside this pocket that already has to be taken off to access. Wallet in here, passport size notebook right there. Also throw a battery, wired headphones in the middle. We got a little back sleeve right here. Let's see if my Kindle that needs a recharge can fit. Absolutely. So we got a tablet that's 7.5 inches. It is a very nice fit, as you can see. Let's see if our 11.5 inch tablet will fit. I highly doubt it. Oh yeah, no way that's happening. So if you got a big tablet, that pocket's gonna be a no-go. Moving on, let's talk about the middle of the Pakt Mode convertible 14-liter backpack. Nothing too much to talk about on the bottom or the sides of the bag, and one thing not to talk about on the side of the bag is water bottle holders. As you can see, there are nada, which I'm not too offended by. Some people will be. But if you look at this real estate, like where were they gonna put a water bottle, dude? Like, this is, like I said, a very tall and thin bag. This is like a couple of inches right here. So there's nowhere to put the water bottles. But if you are a hydration enthusiast, AKA the Hydro Homies, this bag might not make the cut for you. Oh wait, that's right, I totally forgot. Hydro Homies, hold up. There's hope. There's Hydro Hope. You can see we got these lash points right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. These can be used to connect Pakt's Mode bottle sleeve, which we do not have. But judging by the photos and just kind of like my understanding of how this would work, I think it would work fine. Like the lash points would connect pretty well. It's gonna be stable on the bag. It actually might give you a little bit extra expansion, or it might actually give you a little extra capacity as well because it's not fighting with the main compartment. But yeah, curious if any of y'all have tried the Mode water bottle. Please let us know your experience in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Single side handle, nylon webbing, very nice. It's tight though. Like, they're definitely not handles that you're gonna be utilizing to carry the bag too often, I'd say. You could definitely, you know, pop it into briefcase mode if you want. And it definitely works like that, given its thin and tall look. It actually kind of looks nice in this mode. But overall, this is a handle that's not very well padded. And like I said, there's not a lot of room to grab. Top handle, you got a bit more room. Same nylon webbing. This is the same fabric that's used on a seatbelt. Very silky, very smooth, very premium. Main compartment, I'll be honest, I feel like Pakt should have gone full clamshell here. Maybe they didn't need to, I guess. All right, a clamshell bag is one that opens up like all the way, like this, right? So imagine if the zippers were all the way at the bottom, and then you could just open this thing full spread on the table, but we can't do that. But we could have been able to, because there's no water bottle holder here, right? There's no pockets or anything, so they could have in theory brought the zipper down all the way. But I'm not as offended by it as if I would have been if this is a larger travel bag. Those you have to go full clamshell. But it does limit opening access a little bit. You can see it just, you know, stopping here when I don't want it to stop there. Pakt's internal materials they're not my favorite. Let me show you on the red one, because you can see them a little bit better. As to where, like, they look nice, but they just kind of feel a little bit cheaper. They're not cheap, maybe just like, I don't know. They're just not my cup of tea. But as you can see, depending on what exterior color you get, that will also dictate the interior color that you get as well. We've got a bunch of MOLLE rails right here, so you can clip things on externally to the bags, possibly some other accessories from the Pakt ecosystem. Then we got 2 sleeves. Let's see if a 16-inch MacBook Pro can fit in the laptop sleeve. We can get our 3D cut. Oof, it's tight, but we can just, it's possible. It's not fun, but technically speaking, it closed. So it's doable. If you got a 16-incher, it's definitely gonna squeeze in that sleeve. You just gotta believe. For me, it's gonna be a little too tight, bulging in the corners ever so slightly, and then it's a pop out every time. You gotta like do this. But if you do have a MacBook and it's a thinner, sexier, superior laptop, then you can see my 13-inch slides in there very easily. For the other sleeve, let's test if my larger tablet can fit in it. This is a 13.5-incher, and it absolutely can. Very nice, a little snug. Remember, this main compartment was 10 or 11 liters total. But we got some great protection going on. Actually, this false bottom is nuts. The bottom of the laptop is like right here, which means if you drop the bag, that's an amazing sensation. Knowing there's a laptop in here, but not feeling the laptop actually thud on the table. So that plus the back padding, plus a little bit of padding in here as well, makes this a very fortified laptop sleeve. Aside from that, keep in mind, it's a little guy, you know, it's about 10 liters in this main compartment, so yeah, we're not even gonna fit 2 tech pouches unless we do one like that. Yeah, cool. Boom. That's what we got going on. Now, Pakt's whole spiel is travel, right? So you might not bring 2 tech pouches with you on your day trip, and this would be a fantastic day bag, assuming you don't need a ton of space. But it definitely has enough capacity to give you some versatility, whether you want to put a hoodie in there, maybe some travel souvenirs. Remember, it is taller, so you don't have quite the depth that you think you normally would with a bag this size, but it's actually kind of sneaky in its capacity as well. I like it. This is definitely not a self-standing bag. I give like a 1 out of 5 on the self-standing scale score. Not that it's advertised to be, but it's got sort of it doesn't really have a flat bottom, very thin base. This is definitely not a bag to buy if you're hoping for it to stand. Now real fast, before we jump into the next section, if you're enjoying this review, you might really be into bags, or at the very least, like travel and gear, maybe EDC, maybe a little bit of that carry lifestyle. And if that's the case, you might be happy to find out that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do bag reviews on the YouTube channel, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, you can look at me like your reporter in the field, where we're just like on the front lines of this incredible industry, showing you the newest drops, limited edition releases, industry trends, and everything in between. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible industry, be sure to look for this globe emoji in the description below. I hope to see you in your inbox. Let's talk about the back of the Pakt Mode Convertible 14 liter. And this is where things get interesting with sling mode and backpack mode, and I've also got some thoughts. But first, let's talk about suitcase mode. Yes, Pakt said we're gonna give you every which way to travel with this bag, including being a companion to your luggage. And yeah, this works really nicely. A little tight, as you saw, especially when the bag is fully packed out, but this is stable, very secure. Because of this design, where it's actually the back panel just sort of unstitched behind it, this is never gonna pop out. I'm a big fan of this design. Just sometimes, like when the bag is fully packed out, you're just gonna kind of squeeze it down a little bit more, and getting it off requires a little extra bicep, but if you're traveling, you're probably skipping the gym anyways, so a little extra bicep exercise, never a bad thing when you're on the road. And yeah, lots of cover here, so I'm just gonna kind of spiel and roll it all into one. First off, I just don't understand why you'd use this as a sling. But I understand that other people like large slings, and there's definitely a large sling movement, and that large sling movement's growing. One of our videographers here, Tav, we rocked the Boundary Supply Errant Sling forever, and then he went to the Nomadic Navigator 6-liter sling, and now he's back to the Errant. He loves that thing. But that one is like designed to be a sling. It has a shoulder strap configuration and just design that works. It's like, yo, this is supposed to be a big sling, so it's kind of chunkier in that sense, and that one makes sense to me. For this bag though, it makes a little bit less sense to me. But first let's talk about backpack mode, which makes all the sense to me, because this thing in backpack mode is amazing. Just because it's sleek, and it feels sleek, and it looks sleek, and you're just rock and roll. Like when you show up to a meeting with this, they're like, dude, Jerry brought his game today. These connection points allow you to go from backpack mode to sling mode, but they also give these straps a lot of movement. The straps themselves, if they were on a 25-liter bag, I would talk mad about them, but this is a, 14-liter. That packs more like a 12. And we got 2 inches width, and how much padding does it have? 3/4 cm padding, so that with the 2 inches of width, like I'm totally cool with that on a bag this size. Like you want it to feel light and breezy, and everything about this feels light and breezy. Less so though on the back panel. Shoulder straps I'm cool with. I could have used maybe a little bit of ventilation here. If you're the back sweating type, then on a hot summer day, like this is just gonna plaster to the sweat. It's gonna be back panel, your back, and just sweat acting as a glue between these things. Sorry, it's gross, but not as big of a deal for me. I was blessed. I don't really get a lot of back sweat, but yeah, I mean, I just think a little bit of extra, maybe ventilation and comfort could have been added on the back panel. But I think Pakt's whole thing right now is like they're going for that look, clean, minimalist. And I think that if they would have added a bunch of stuff on the back panel, it may have been a bit more functional, but I think there's some form over function going on with this bag. Not a lot though, I really like it. Nylon webbing, same as the top and side handle, high quality, and thank you Pakt for adding dangle stoppers here to keep the excess nylon in its place. Okay, so going back to sling mode, again, this bag just makes so much sense to me in backpack mode and just less sense to me in sling mode. Taking the clips off, actually not too bad. You saw how fast that was? That was like a 1/4 of a second. So pretty easy, can't complain with that. And then you've got a couple of different nylon lash points at the top that you can clip the sling onto. I think the center one actually makes the most sense. And then you're going into sling mode. which again, I don't quite get with this bag because I don't think it works as a sling. I think that this is a great example of a product that is one thing that they're trying to make two things. This is definitely, clearly a backpack that they're like, hey, just make the straps removable and then pop that thing there and then you can just wear it as a sling. But it wasn't like initially designed like that. It's another option, which is nice, but having tested out other large slings, I just don't think this is gonna be the best large sling. The best large sling is the large sling that was designed to be a large sling. So, end of my rant, we're now concluding. It's a fine large sling. You can do one of these with large slings, which is pretty cool, but then you just got this huge backpack here. So sling mode, yeah, it's fine. It works, but for me, if you're buying this, you're buying it for a backpack. And then I guess you can put it into a sling if you want. But I don't know when you would. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, is there situations where sling mode with this bag makes more sense than popping it with two straps on? I don't see it, but I could be missing something. Let me know in the comments below. Now let's get into the most important part of this review and talk about the overall pros and cons of the Pakt mode convertible 14 liter. Pro number one, gotta be the aesthetic. This thing is a work of art. Pro number two is I was really impressed by how much volume these two front pockets actually have given the size of this bag. And pro number three, I think for some people, you are just gonna love the fact that this can be either a backpack or a sling. But on the flip side, all bags have cons, and my first con is actually gonna be my third pro, where I think that the sling mode is a little gimmicky. I think this is a backpack through and through. Con number two for many people is gonna be the lack of included water bottle holders. You gotta pay extra for them. And con number three for me, I think on the back panel, we could have had a little bit more ventilation. Now let's take these pros and cons, mash them together, and give you our overall scores. Quick note on our scores, these are personal, just based on my experience with the bag. First up is the comfort score, which really we kind of gotta give it 2 scores. The sling comfort score, I don't think is great. Like, I just think that there's other large slings that do this better. It's not uncomfortable, it's a small bag, right? So it's not gonna kill you. But based on other options I've tried in the market, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. But let's do our second comfort score for backpack mode. Look at me walking around with that bag outside. I was happy, I was loving it. The shoulder straps feel nice. Could have been a bit more ventilation, like I said, but overall, it's a small bag, it's a very comfy wear. I give it a 4 out of 5. For the value score, it's a little bit complicated with this bag, but I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. There's a huge variation of cost of large slings and smaller backpacks. I mean, you can get an Osprey that's kind of comparable to this for $100, or you can spend $350 on the Boundary Supply Errant Sling. But overall, I think there's a decent amount of value here. It's a 3.5. And my overall score, I give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's a great product that knows exactly what it is. It didn't complicate anything. I do think that, personally, the shoulder strap, sling, backpack mode feature is a bit of a gimmick, but more or less, I like this bag a lot. And if you agree with me and you like this bag too, and you're thinking about making a purchase, just a reminder, we do request doing so with the first link in the description. That link makes sure that you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's where it'll be. But if you want to hear my alternatives, because you're not quite sure about this one, you want to know what else is on the market, let's talk about it. First up, if you're new to the channel, you should definitely consider watching our Nomads Nation leaderboard video. In this video, myself and the Nomads Nation squad, we pick our favorite bags in all of the different bag categories so you can see what the best options are all over the world. It's awesome. You should definitely check it out. Also, if you're new to the channel, you might not know, but after reviewing hundreds of bags ourselves, we actually launched our own backpack brand called Firo. Firo bags are designed to keep you streamlined and focused on your journey ahead. I'm really proud of what we've created there. We've got some EDC bags, some slings, some travel bags. You can learn more about that at firo.co or with the second link in the description. But if we're really close with the Pakt bag, here's 2 alternatives that might get you a little closer. My first suggestion will be the Osprey Arcane 10 liter. This is a great pick for you if you kind of like this heritage-y vibe. And the size, the Arcane is like a 10 liter, but it packs around the same, to be honest, but you're on a bit more of a budget. This Osprey bag is gonna be anywhere from like 80 to $100, depending on the deal of the day. And it's one of my favorite small backpacks of all time. My second alternative recommendation is gonna be the Aer Tech Sling. This is a great pick for you if you're looking for a large single strap sling that also has some versatility to it, because the Aer Tech Sling can be worn as a sling in the front, as a messenger on the side, even as a single strap backpack. And again, it's one of my favorite bags of all time. It's so innovative. Honestly though, all 3 bags are great. They kind of do different things, and they all have their own pros and cons. You just gotta figure out which pros and cons work for you. But to learn more about the 2 alternatives, you can just go ahead and watch these videos here. If you got any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Aaron, this is Nomads Nation. We'll catch you next time.